Good evening and welcome to tonight's news bulletin, coming to you live from this news center of the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The Financial Services Authority launches the national health insurance platform Dhamani. The regulatory framework for government digital transformation is issued to unify visions and efforts towards an organized digital transformation. And the Minister of Higher Education, Research and Innovation launches the Employer Survey 2025 projects to study the compatibility of higher education outcomes with the requirements of the national labor market. Good evening and thank you for joining us. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. To develop the infrastructure of the health insurance system, the Financial Services Authority announced the launch of the national health insurance platform Dhamani. Here, more detail.
As part of the national efforts to enhance digital transformation in the health sector and develop the infrastructure of the health insurance system, the Financial Services Authority announced the launch of the national health insurance platform Dhamani at a press conference.
We have more than 4 million transactions. We started in 1st of October 2024, and more than 4 million transactions as of today. We have more than 400,000 claims submitted through Dhamani. Now, the next step, we are heading for phase 2, which is actually we are in process to implement KYC, eKYC, so that the insurer will be authenticated and authorized before getting the services to ensure that he's, from his identity. And also we have BBM, pharmacy benefits management, is in the process, to differentiate between medications and type of quality of medications, of medicines.
The platform aims to add integrated digital solutions that keep pace with the rapid development of health insurance services on a global scale. Dhamani is aimed at connecting private healthcare institutions with insurance and claims management companies, along with legislative and regulatory bodies and beneficiaries, including citizens and residents. This comes as part of a vision to build a reliable digital insurance system that contributes in enhancement of performance efficiency and facilitates integration among various stakeholders in the health insurance market.
I see that national health insurance can benefit insurance companies in a way of regulating the diagnosis and also providing a best treatment for the clients.
The platform has received positive interaction from various stakeholders, connecting with 4 key government entities headed by the Ministry of Health, in addition to more than 35 private hospital and health complexes, alongside of all insurance and licensed claims management companies by the Financial Services Authority. Dhamani, the national health insurance platform, comes in a time when there is need to push the insurance health services ahead here in the Sultanate of Oman and to keep pace with the global interest in the same sector. For Oman TV, Ahmed bin Hilal al-Busaidi, Muscat.
The Ministry of Transport, Communications and Information Technology today issued the ministerial decision number 108/2025 enacting the regulatory framework for government digital transformation. The framework aims to regulate governance and establish the organizational structure for the government digital transformation on program Tahawul, while also defining the controls for implementation across the government sector. It sets out clear roles and responsibilities for all entities involved in executing digital projects and initiatives. The regulatory framework for government digital transformation will help align and unify efforts towards a well-structured national digital transformation. It is based on a unified legislative framework that ensures coordination among state administrative units and promotes compliance with the national policies. The 9th edition of the program on principles and foundations guiding the state's domestic and foreign policy, organized by the Minister of Labour in cooperation with the Foreign Ministry, focused on strengthening regional and international cooperation to contribute to raising the Sultanate of Oman's global standing. The program addressed Omani foreign policy and elaborated on the orientations of the Arab League and Joint Arab Action. The program was held under the auspices of His Excellency Sayyid Sulaiman bin Hamoud Al Busaidi, Deputy Secretary General of the Council of Ministers. The Ministry of Higher Education, Research and Innovation launched the Employer Survey 2025 projects to study the compatibility of higher education outcomes with the requirements of the national labour market and to identify the skills and competencies required in various economic sectors. Her Excellency Dr. Rahma bint Ibrahim Al Mahrouqiya, Minister of Higher Education, Research and Innovation, emphasized in her speech that the project represents a fundamental pillar in formulating educational policies and linking them to the needs of the labour market in line with the objectives of Oman Vision 2040 and enhancing the competitiveness of the national economy. The project is considered an important periodic survey as it aims to collect data from various institutions that have employed graduates of higher education institutions during the period from 2018 to the present time. At a cost exceeding 25 million Omani riyals, projects to establish water distribution networks for several villages in the Wilayah of Ibriya and Bahla is progressing rapidly and on schedule, as it has reached a 55% completion rate. The project aims to strengthening infrastructure and improve water services in the region. The project includes main water transmission networks exceeding 107 kilometers in length and over 400 kilometers long distribution networks. It also includes 5 pumping stations and 6 main reservoirs supported by advanced water sterilization and monitoring systems. You're watching the Sultanate of Oman television, and yet to come in our news bulletin. The School Theatre Festival kicks off to create a platform that combines various activities. Once again, welcome to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. The Palestinian death toll in the Gaza Strip has risen to 51,157 since the outbreak of the conflict on October 7, 2023. The Gaza-based health authorities said yesterday. In a statement, the health authorities added that 116,724 others have been wounded in the ongoing Israeli assaults. Over the past 48 hours, 92 Palestinians have been killed and 219 others injured in Israeli military operations in the enclave. Since Israel ended a 2-month ceasefire with Hamas and resumed deadly air and ground assaults on Gaza on March 18 of this year, 1,783 Palestinians have been killed and 4,683 others wounded. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky yesterday proposed extending Russia's temporary Easter ceasefire to 30 days. Earlier, Russian President Vladimir Putin declared a 30-hour unilateral truce from Saturday evening to midnight Sunday, saying it would test Ukraine's sincerity and willingness for peace talks. Zelensky rejected the short truce, calling for a full 30-day ceasefire through April 20th. He criticized Russia for ignoring Ukraine's earlier proposal for an unconditional ceasefire and stressed that longer peace could build real trust. Despite the truce, fighting continued on some front lines, with Ukrainian forces remaining on alert. Meanwhile, both sides conducted a prisoner exchange. 246 prisoners were swapped, including wounded soldiers, with Ukraine confirming the return of 277 Ukrainians. A fisherman died after being swept off rocks south of Sydney today, becoming the sixth person to drown over Australia's Easter long weekend. The man was fishing with a 14-year-old boy at Watamola when both were pulled into the ocean by powerful waves. The boy was rescued and remains in a stable condition at hospital. Emergency crews also resumed searching for a man swept off rocks at Little Bay in Sydney's east. 3 people drowned in New South Wales, so while a woman died near Melbourne, another rock fisherman also died Saturday morning at Tathra on the NSW's south coast as dangerous surf continues to lash the region. Now to Peru. Archaeologists have unveiled human remains believed to have been buried following a sacrificial ceremony at a northeastern Peruvian site confirmed to be approximately 4,000 years old, marking it as the second oldest temple in the region. The remains are thought to belong to an individual aged between 20 and 25, potentially dating back to the late Chimu era between 1300 and 1400 AD. The Chimu culture was a prosperous and powerful pre-Columbian coastal civilization in Peru, known for its urban planning, metallurgy and textiles, with its capital at Chan, flourishing between 1000 and 1470 AD. The temple is supposed to be from the pre-ceramic era, a period when human occupation started at the end of the Pleistocene to the adoption of ceramics around the 2nd millennium BC, marked by the development of agriculture and the establishments of stable villages and the emergence of early ceremonial centers. Back here in the Sultanate of Oman, a review of national risks related to the health sector was discussed at the first meeting of the National Risk Registrar at the Emergency Management Center. The meeting also discussed mechanisms for strengthening efforts among sector representatives, identifying risk mitigation measures and examining risk management mechanisms and methods in accordance with international standards. It also reviewed methods for filling out short and long-term risk cards for the year 2026. These strategic projects represent a step towards building an integrated national system for monitoring, analyzing and evaluating health risks. The Sultanate of Oman's heritage reflects a deep history of cultural interaction seen in traditional architecture, ancient Aflaj systems and folk arts and historic crafts. Key archaeological sites across Oman bear witness to this rich legacy. At the event, His Excellency Ibrahim bin Said Al Kharousi, Under Secretary of the Ministry of Heritage and Tourism for Heritage, highlighted the importance of preserving cultural identity through sustainable development rooted in tradition. Oman's initiatives from restoration and documentation to artisan support and UNESCO site listing show a united efforts between the state and community. Heritage preservation here goes beyond the official institutions, involving broad community participation. Individuals and organizations help pass down traditions across generations through oral storytelling, daily practices and cultural events, a spirit showcased in the exhibition held alongside the event. The School Theatre Festival in its 10th edition kicked off today, organized by the Minister of Education, represented by Career Guidance Center. The festival aims to create a platform that combines different students' theatre activities teams on the level of educational directorates in governorates. The festival also aims to enable students to enhance their artistic talents in acting, directing and playwriting, and to work on developing them and to promote the building of cultural, intellectual and educational awareness through theatrical activities. The festival will include a number of 8 students' theatrical shows which will focus on several community topics. The students will get the chance to meet with specialists and benefit from their rich experience. You're watching the Sultanate of Oman television, and to end this news bulletin, here are the main points once again. The Financial Services Authority launches the National Health Insurance Platform Dhamani. The regulatory framework for government digital transformation is issued to unify visions and efforts towards an organized digital transformation. And the Minister of Higher Education, Research and Innovation launches the Employer Survey 2025 projects to study the compatibility of higher education outcomes with the requirements of the national labour market. And with that, we do conclude this news bulletin. Thank you for joining us, and good night.